Good morning, everyone. Hope your weekend is going great. Hope you're having fun. Hope it's beautiful weather where you are. Here in Southeast Texas, we've had rain, gloomy weather, but oh well, it'll eventually go away. Hey, Super Bowl Sunday, and everybody's probably getting ready for the big game. There are some college basketball games on today. Uh, if I remember right, there's 11 games. Only two really kind of stick out, but it is what it is. Hey, we're going to review yesterday, and then we're going to preview this upcoming week, starting to turn things around a little bit. A lot of teams on the bubble. A lot of teams need to win out to even win out in their conference tournaments to get into the tournament. So we're going to go over those kinds of games, kind of preview of what's coming up this next week. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Here we go. News. Chip Kelly out at UCLA. He is going to be the new Ohio State offensive coordinator. You may not be, wait a minute. Bill O'Brien, he's the new Ohio State offensive coordinator. Got hired in January. Yeah, well, being Bill O'Brien, Boston College came along, offered him the head coaching job. He said, okay, I'm going to go there and be head coach instead of being at Ohio State. So, yeah, Chip Kelly out at UCLA, in at Ohio State. Bill O'Brien was at Ohio State. He's out. He's at Boston College now. Chip Kelly, I think you could probably add him to a list of coaches that we've seen the last few, 2-3 decades that left a good thing looking for greener grass and didn't find it. I mean, look what he did at Oregon. Man, incredible teams there at Oregon. Left for, what did he leave for the NFL? Was it 49ers, I think, or Eagles or something? Didn't do all that good. Came back to college. Went to UCLA. Didn't do that good. Now he's going to be an offensive coordinator. Yeah, you can probably put him on that list of why'd you leave? You had things so great there. Boston College fans, being down here in Southeast Texas around the Houston area, all I can say about you hiring Bill O'Brien, get ready for scoring a touchdown in the first quarter and then playing conservative the rest of the game. So just get used to that because that's probably what's going to happen. You'll have a 10-point lead in the first quarter and you'll be running the ball every play to try to run the clock out. So just be ready for that, all right? Michigan hires New York Giants DC Wink Martindale as their new DC. Former Washington OC Ryan Grubb follows Coach Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Well, Seattle came a-calling, Seattle Seahawks, and asked him to be the OC. So Ryan Grubb, no longer at Alabama. He's going to be the OC for the Seattle Seahawks. Ex-Stanford tight end Benjamin, let's see if I can say his name right, Yurosek. He commits to Georgia. He's going to go play there. Last bit of news, SEC will distribute $51.3 million to each school for the 22-23 fiscal year. That's a lot of damn money. You know, A&M's happy about that. They can put that back in the bank that they're using to pay off Jimbo Fisher's thing there. All right, so do a quick review. Some things that happened the last couple of days. Friday, I said, was it Friday morning? I said, hey, we got a couple decent games on Friday, and sure enough, they were. Two top 25 teams go down Friday night. 16-8 VCU beat number 18 Dayton 49-47. VCU's Nelson, leading scorer, 11 points. And he came off the bench to do that. Not a good shooting night for either team, I can tell you that. VCU was 38% from the field. They had 5 offensive rebounds, but 32 defensive rebounds. So Dayton Santos, 19.6 rebounds. Dayton shot 36% from the field. They only had 2 offensive rebounds and 30 defensive rebounds. Low-scoring game. Shooting wasn't that good. Rebounds was the factor, especially on the defensive end. So Dayton, number 18 Dayton, goes down to VCU. I didn't watch that game, but I watched this one. This one was a pretty damn good game. Went into overtime. 19-5 Nevada beat number 24 San Diego State 70-66. Nevada's Blackshear 22 points, 4 rebounds, 46% from the field. Um, San Diego State's Lee D, 20.7 rebounds, 41% from the field. Both teams had 16 turnovers in this game. Teams are pretty even in rebounds, though. They pretty much grabbed the same thing. First time in school history that Nevada has consecutive wins over top 25 teams. Great game, like I said, start to finish. It really was. Good Friday night game. It really was. Saturday, number 1 UConn beat Georgetown 89-64. That was UConn's 12th straight win. Number 11 Wisconsin. Man, they went down to Rutgers, who's 13-10. Rutgers beat them 78-56. Rutgers Williams, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. 4 others had double-digit points in that game. Rutgers shot 45% from the field, 59% from three-point land, 89% from the free throw line. Essigan for Wisconsin, he was their leading scorer with 15 points. And he came off the bench to do that. Wisconsin, 33% from the field, 24% from three-point land, 59% from free throw line. Wisconsin, their 12 turnovers led to 15 Rutgers points. Rutgers, they have more points in the paint. Wisconsin, that is 4 consecutive losses for them. Man, they're going to get things turned around. Another good game to watch. Really good. Number 16, Alabama. They beat LSU 109-92. Don't let that score fool you if you didn't see the game. That was a great game. LSU was there the whole way until like the last couple of minutes. Really good game. Thought LSU was going to pull it off, but Alabama came out ahead. Really good competitive game. Another one I watched, 15-9, Michigan State beat number 10 Illinois, 88-80. Michigan State's Hogard, 23 points, 5 assists, 12 for 13 from the free throw line. Hall, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 7 for 9 from the free throw line. Michigan State, 53% from the field, 63% from three-point land, 74% from the free throw line. Illinois Shannon Jr., not a bad game, 28.7 rebounds, 12 for 13 from the free throw line. Nice for him. Illinois, 43% from the field, 37% from three-point land, 85% from free throws. Both teams have 33 rebounds in this game and 14 assists. Michigan State, though, 13 points off of turnovers. They had 38 points in the paint. Illinois, more fouls. They had 24 total fouls in this game. Another great game, start to finish. We had quite a few of those this weekend. Another one I watched, Florida, 16-7. They beat number 12 Auburn, 81-65. Kugel, 22 points off the bench. He was leading scorer. Clayton Jr., 20.6 rebounds. Pullen, 19.6 rebounds. Florida shot 40% from the field. Auburn's Brome, leading scorer, 14 points. Did get 7 rebounds, but 14 points. Auburn, 42% from the field, 34% from, or 18% from three-point land, 54% from the free throw line. 15 turnovers, which led to 16 Gator points. Another good games. Florida pretty much dominated this game. Not the whole game, about 3/4 of the game. Auburn made a run there at the end. Couldn't quite make it. So Florida ends up winning that one. Number 3, North Carolina. Barely got by Miami. Only beat them by 3 points. 18-6 Gonzaga. They go to Kentucky. Beat the number 17 Kentucky Wildcats 89-85. Gonzaga's Ike, 23 points, 5 rebounds. Both Watson and Hickman had 17 points each. Gonzaga, 47% from the field. They scored 13 points off of turnovers. Kentucky Shepherd, 21 points. Reeves, 17 points. They shot 46% from the field. They were out-rebounded by Gonzaga, 43-31. Third straight home loss for Kentucky. I saw something yesterday on Twitter. A couple people were saying, well, Calipari's got a lifetime contract, so he didn't care if they lose anymore. So I don't know. That's just what I read. You can't believe everything you read on the internet. Number 4, Kansas beat number 13, Baylor, 64-61. Baylor hung in there the entire game, made a run at the end, came up short. Dickinson for Kansas, 15.7 rebounds. Harns Jr., 14 points. Jayhawks, 43% from the field, 24% from three-point land, 73% from the free throw line. Missy for Baylor, 21 points, 8 rebounds. Walter, 17 points, 8 rebounds. Baylor, 41% from the field, 31% from three-point land, 71% from the free throw line. Baylor, they had 21 turnovers in this game that led to 17 Kansas points. Even though that, Bears, they stayed in it. They were there the whole way. Like I said, made a run at the end, which is pretty incredible. They did out-rebound Kansas, 42-25. Each team had 15 fouls in that game. So as many times as Baylor turned the ball over and Kansas scored points off of it, they still played a hell of a game. They stay in it like that. Pretty incredible. Number 2, Purdue beat Indiana by 20. Zach Edey, 26 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 11 for 16 from the free throw line, and made his very first three-pointer in his Purdue career. So I don't know if we can give him a plaque or certificate for that, but hey, he did with Indiana and got his first three-pointer. Number 5, Houston beat 15-8 Cincinnati by 5. Another one I watched. Oh, man, I was so happy about this game. 15-8 Texas A&M beats number 6 Tennessee, 85-69. A&M's Radford, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Taylor the fourth, 25 points, 7 assists, hit 5 three-pointers in this one. A&M was 47% from the field, 39% three-point land, 72% from the free throw line. Neck from Tennessee, 22.7 rebounds. Volunteers, 37% from the field, 28% three-point land, 60% from the free throw line. A&M had more offensive and defensive rebounds in this one, more points in the paint, less fouls than Tennessee. Aggies, man, they were on fire from start to finish. They just marched through that game. Pretty damn good game. Actually led by 22 at one point, which is crazy against Tennessee. But Aggies are improved, playing at home. Pretty good atmosphere there at Reed Arena. So, but hey, like I said, Aggie fan, I was very happy about that one. They play again in 2 or 3 weeks. They play again, but it'll be in Knoxville this time. I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee wins that one. Little payback. Number 18, Arizona beat 16-8 Colorado by 20. Arizona hit 10 three-pointers in that game. Number 14, Iowa State beat number 16 beat 16-7 TCU, 71-59. I actually started watching this game, but man, it was just so slow at the beginning, and I was like, man, this is just slow. Ended up changing and watching another game, but looks like it turned out to be a pretty good game after all. Number 21, BYU beat 15-9 Kansas State, 72-66. Number 22, Utah State beat 16-8 Boise State, 80-61. Utah State's Falsliff, 25 points, season high for him. 13-9 UNLV beat number 25 New Mexico, 80-77. Thomas Jr. for UNLV, 25 points. UNLV, 49% from the field, 25% from three-point land, 72% from free throw line, and they got 13 points off of New Mexico turnovers. New Mexico, Denton House, 20 points each, 35% from the field, 40% from three-point land, and 77% from the free throw line. Quite a few top 25 teams lost this weekend. Now, of course, when you got two matched up together, that's inevitable. But you got some that didn't play a ranked team. They still lost. So pretty cool weekend this whole weekend, unless you're a fan of those teams. Some other upsets and big games on Saturday. 10-15 Northeastern beat 13-12 Monmouth by 12. 9-14 Canisius, however they say, beat 12 and Long Iona by 4. 19-6 Vermont beat UMBC by 2 with a last-second shot by Shamir Bogues. 17-9 Green Bay beat 18-8 Youngstown State by 1. 16-8 Butler beat 15-9 Providence by 3. Butler's Brooks jump shot that helped seal the deal with 19 seconds left. Butler not ranked, but they're playing some good basketball. And they got a big game coming up this week. We'll go over it in a minute. I think it's against UConn, maybe? No, I forget who it's again, but we'll go over that in a minute. But Butler's not playing bad basketball. 8-17 Holy Cross beats 13-12 American by 2. 16-6 Yale beats 17-4 Cornell by 2. Yale's Wolf, 25 points, 10 rebounds. Ivy League, they got some good basketball teams in that league. 11-15 Kansas City beat 15-11 North Dakota, 65-47. 11-14 Arkansas State beat 13-11 Ohio, 100-87. 12-12 UT Arlington beat 14-10 Stephen F. Austin, 71-63 in overtime. 10-15 Murray State beat 15-10 Evansville by 3. Come on. All right. 14-10 Ohio State beat 13-11 Maryland by 4. 2 overtimes. 11-13 Mount St. Mary's beat 19-5 Quinnipiac 96-79. Mount St. Mary's Reeves 24 points in that game. Chattanooga beat UNC Greensboro 89-61. Both are 17-8. 7-15 NJIT beat 16-7 UMass Lowell 71-64. NJIT 14 points off of turnovers. Francis had 26 points in that game. 15-9 Northern Colorado beat 16-9 Montana 87-71. Northern Colorado's Reeves 25 points, 5 rebounds. Hell of a game for him, and he came off the bench to do that. 14-12 Denver beat 16-10 St. Thomas, Minnesota 94-77. Breachley for Denver had 25 points in that one. 10-14 Utah Tech beat 14-9 Cal Baptist 85-78. Series for Utah Tech 33 points in that game. 8-16 Notre Dame beat 13-10 Va Tech 74-66. 20-5 Drake beat 17-8 Bradley 74-67. 12-12 Arizona State beat 15-9 Utah 85-77. Arizona State 21 points off of turnovers. 16-9 Liberty beat 16-8 Louisiana Tech by 3. 10-15 UC Riverside beat 18-7 UC Irvine by 10. UC Riverside's Griskitty 26 points. 11-14 Idaho State beat 14-11 Portland State by 3. 7-18 Southern Indiana beat 13-12 SIU Edwardsville 84-67. A lot of teams there playing. A lot of teams that won that don't have that good of a schedule. Man, they just got to keep grinding it out because conference tournaments are coming up and they're going to need to win all that. All right, so now let's go start previewing some games here. 11 games today on Super Bowl Sunday. There are 11 games. Really only 2 stick out. Number 12, Florida Atlantic plays Wichita State. 16-7, Bowling Green plays 15-9, Louisiana. Might want to check those out. Those could be pretty decent games. Monday, a couple stick out. 6 p.m. ESPN, 16-7, Wake Forest versus number 9, Duke. And then 8 p.m. on ESPN, number 4, Kansas at number 22, Texas Tech. Even though Wake Forest isn't ranked, they're a good team, so that could be 2 good games on what do they call Super Monday or Big Monday? Yeah, 2 good games that night. So, moving on to Tuesday, we'll have number 7 Marquette versus 16-8 Butler, 5:30 FS1. That's who I was thinking of. Butler's got a big game coming up. That's it. Number 7 Marquette on Tuesday night. 6 p.m. ESPN, number 3 North Carolina versus 15-9 Syracuse. Gets pretty loud there in the Carrier Dome. Could be a problem for Tar Heels. 6 p.m. on the Peacock Network. 8-16 Michigan goes to number 10 Illinois, if Illinois is still number 10 by then. 6 p.m. ESPN2 versus number 14 Iowa State. 6 p.m. ESPN2, number 14 Iowa State versus 15-8 Cincinnati. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 14-9 Duquesne versus number 18 Dayton. 6 p.m. ACC Network, 15-8 Pitt versus 18-5 Virginia. That might be a pretty good one. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 14-9 George Washington versus 16-8 George Mason. That could be a good one also. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus, 20-5 Drake versus 15-10 Evansville. 8 p.m. on the Peacock Network, 14-10 Ohio State versus number 11 Wisconsin. If Wisconsin's ranked number 11 by them, because we just said they lost. Was that the third, fourth game they've lost in a row? I don't know where they're going to be when they play Ohio State on Tuesday night. But 8 p.m. ESPN2. Man, another good one. 17-6 Oklahoma versus number 13 Baylor. Good Big 12 matchup. And it's going to be on ESPN2. It's not going to be on the ESPN Plus like they're trying to make you pay for. 8 p.m. ESPN, 18-5 Ole Miss going to number 17 Kentucky. Another team that may not be ranked where they are after this weekend. What Kentucky team's going to show up, though? I mean, you got a good Ole Miss team coming in. You're going to get the Kentucky team, or you're going to get the good Kentucky team. That's the gamble now when you watch a Kentucky game. Which Wildcat team are you going to get? 8 p.m. CBS Sports, 19-5 Colorado State versus number 24 San Diego State. Good Mountain West Conference battle there. And then, a late one on Tuesday night, 10 p.m. CBS Sports Net, number 25 New Mexico versus 19-5 Nevada. Can Nevada make it 3 straight wins over top 25 opponents? They said school record. They won 2 in a row over top 25, first time in school history. Man, they're going to go for 3 now. Could be pretty cool for them. Wednesday, moving on to Wednesday, 6 p.m. ESPN2, 15-9 Miami versus 16-7 Clemson. 6 p.m. on CBS Sports Network, 13-11 Xavier versus 15-8 Seton Hall. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 14-8 UMass versus 17-6 Richmond. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 16-10 Oakland versus 16-9 Purdue Fort Wayne. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, 16-8 St. Joseph's versus 17-7 Loyola Chicago. 7:30 on the SEC Network, number 15 South Carolina versus number 12 Auburn. Which Auburn may not be 12 by then, but still. This should be ranked in the top 25. This should be a good game. 7:30 on Big Ten Network, 13-10 Iowa versus 13-11 Maryland. 2 Big Ten teams who are trying to get all the wins they can before the Big Ten tourney starts so they can try and make it to that national tournament. 8 p.m. CBS Sports Network, number 1 UConn plays 3-20 DePaul. 8 p.m. ESPN2, number 6 Tennessee plays 12-11 Arkansas there in Fayetteville. And 8 p.m. ESPNU, 18-7 Western Carolina versus 22-3 Samford. That might not be a bad game at all. All right, moving on to next Thursday. 5:30 p.m. BTN. 16-7 Northwestern versus 13-10 Rutgers. Rutgers coming off that big win this weekend. Northwestern just keep trying to draw in all those wins, as many wins as they can. Playing pretty good ball, too. 6 p.m. ESPN2, number 20 Florida Atlantic plays 8-15 Temple. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 16-7 SMU plays 13-9 Tulane. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 14-9 New Hampshire versus 19-6 Vermont. If you've got ESPN Plus, that might be a pretty decent game to watch. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus, 17-6 Memphis versus 13-9 North Texas. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus, 20-5 Morehead State versus 14-11 Little Rock. 7:30 on BTN, 15-7 Minnesota travels to number 2 Purdue. You want to say it's going to be a good game, but they're playing at Purdue, and as badass as Zach Edey is, you look, you're like, well, maybe not be so, but hey, you never know. I mean, it's college sports, you never know. And last one that stuck out, 8 p.m. ESPN Plus, 15-9 Long Beach State versus 15-9 UC Davis. Moving on to Friday, 5 p.m. ESPN Plus, 12-8 Harvard versus 17-4 Cornell. 8 p.m. ESPNU, 13-11 Ohio Bobcats versus 15-9 Toledo. And for a second Friday in a row, we're getting a good Mountain West Conference matchup. 9 p.m. FS1 Friday night, number 25 New Mexico versus number 24 San Diego State. Of course, after this weekend, neither one of them may be 24-25, but hey, it's still going to be a good game. So Mountain West does not disappoint us again on a Friday night. All right, so moving on to Saturday, got a buttload of games. 11 a.m. ESPN Plus, number 23 Texas Tech versus number 14 Iowa State. 11 a.m. 15-8 Texas A&M travels to number 16 Alabama. No TV announced yet. 11 a.m. 16-7 Wake Forest versus 19-5 Virginia. No TV was mentioned. Which, it's going to be on TV. They're just trying to figure out who's going to broadcast it. ACC Network, ESPN, all that, all that TV garbage that goes on. 11 a.m. 16-7 TCU versus 15-9 Kansas State. No TV announced yet. 11 a.m. Big Ten Network. Penn State scraping and fighting for their lives at 12-11. Go to 17-8 Nebraska. 11:30 on Fox. Number 19 Creighton versus 16-8 Butler. Butler got two big games. Marquette on, what was that, Tuesday? And then Creighton on Saturday. So, man, they're in a grind right now. CBS at noon, 16-8 Texas goes to number 5 Houston. Noon, SEC Network, 16-7 Florida versus 14-10 Georgia. 1 o'clock, ACC Network, 13-10 Virginia Tech. They're traveling to number 3 North Carolina. 1 p.m. ESPN, number 9 Duke versus 13-10 Florida State. 1 p.m. ESPN Plus, number 21 BYU going to 10-14 Oklahoma State. But what's happened to Oklahoma State? They used to have a decent basketball program. 1 p.m. ESPNU, 12-11 Arkansas goes to 16-8 Mississippi State. 1:15 on Big Ten Network, number 11 Wisconsin going to 13-10 Iowa. I would like to add another loss to Wisconsin's recent losing streak. Never know. This any sports season this late in the season, players are hurt, players are tired, exhausted. Usually when the upsets start happening is late in seasons. Let's see, 1:30 USA Network, 16-8 St. Joseph's versus 14-9 Duquesne. 2 p.m. on Fox. Looks like it might be the big one of the day. Number 7 Marquette versus number 1 UConn. 2 p.m. ESPN Plus, 18-8 Youngstown State versus 15-10 Cleveland State. And rounding out Saturday, 2:30 on the SEC Network, 12-11 LSU versus number 15 South Carolina. 3 p.m. ESPN number 4 Kansas versus 18-6 Oklahoma. That should be a pretty good one. 3 p.m. ACC Network, 15-9 Miami versus 13-10 Boston College. Their new coach, Bill O'Brien, will be in the stands and he'll be yelling, "Score 4 and then run the clock out." Watch. 3 p.m. ESPN Plus, 15-8 Cincinnati versus 13-9 UCF. 3 p.m. ESPN Plus, 16-7 UMass Lowell versus 16-9 Bryant. Might not be a bad one if you got ESPN Plus. 3:30 ESPN Plus, Western Illinois versus Tennessee State. Both are 15-10. Both are 8-4 in conference. Ohio Valley Conference, I believe that's what they're in. 3:30 ESPN Plus, 20-5 Morehead State versus 15-10 UT Martin. 3:30 ESPN Plus, 20-5 Morehead State versus 15-10 UT Martin. Did I just say that? Yeah. 3:30 ESPN Plus, 15-9 Louisiana versus 20-5 Appalachian State. 4 p.m. ESPN Plus, damn. 16-9 Weber State versus 16-8 Eastern Washington. 4:30 on Fox, number 10 Illinois versus 13-11 Maryland. 4:30 CBS Sports, number 22 Utah State versus 19-5 Colorado State. Another Mountain West one that's probably going to be pretty good. 5 p.m. number 17 Kentucky travels to number 12 Auburn. 5 p.m. ESPN2, number 13 Baylor versus West Virginia, who's 8-10. 5 p.m. ESPN Plus, 12-8 Harvard versus 12-8 Columbia. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, 22-3 Indiana State versus 16-9 Southern Illinois. 6:45 on the CW Network, 15-9 North Carolina State versus 16-7 Clemson. 7 p.m. on Fox, rivalry game, 15-9 Michigan State versus 8-16 Michigan. 7 p.m. ESPN2. Hey, it's on TV. 16-6 Yale versus 17-3 Princeton. That might be a pretty good night game. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus. 14-9 Cal Baptist versus 22-2 Grand Canyon. 22-2 Grand Canyon. McNeese State's only lost 3 games. Wouldn't that be funny if they ended up playing each other in the national championship? McNeese State and Grand Canyon. How many people do you think would watch that? I know I'd watch it, but other people would be like, oh man, they ain't got nobody big in it. I ain't watching that crap. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus, 15-9 Long Beach State versus 16-9 Cal State Northridge. Another rivalry game, 8:30, 12-12 Arizona State goes to number 8 Arizona. They haven't mentioned any TV yet. 9 p.m. ESPN Plus, 15-10 Santa Clara versus 15-11 San Diego. Late night basketball game. Looks like it could be pretty good. No TV mentioned yet. Probably I wouldn't be surprised if it's CBS Sports. 9-15 Nevada versus 13-9 UNLV. That is it. Man, enjoy y'all's Super Bowl Sunday. Hope if you have a party, hope the food's good, the company's fun, the drinks are flowing. We'll see you next weekend again, where we'll go over upsets and crazy stuff that happened during the week, and then we'll preview the next week. Y'all stay busy, stay safe, have fun. We'll see you later.